Hey YouTubers, and welcome to a new episode of the the series that we've had here on the channel. It's been a while since we had an episode. I think the last time we had a sports gamer soapbox talk was about back in February when the world was normal. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. The thing or the word I can't say. Just say world problem that we're currently in right now, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a bit. Also, too, today we're going to talk about some things going on with the world besides the world pandemic that we're currently in. It's only getting worse. We'll kind of just briefly talk about that. I don't want to say too much because you got the YouTube censors, hi fellas, watching, or at least in this case, listening to probably this episode here. And of course, we have. I'm gonna give you guys the honest reason why I have not been posting a bunch of content, because I actually have quite a bit of content up right now. And that main reason is because of what's going on with the, of course, the incident that happened back at Memorial Day weekend with George Floyd. May he rest in peace. But also about the Black Matters movement and what a lot of people are not understanding about it, and also is tied into sports. You guys know this show. I talk about this stuff all the time. And it's not a political thing or anything like that, because if I want to do that, I can create another channel just for that and do whatever. I've actually been on a couple podcasts that my friends are, I believe my friend, my buddy Sid and Eric, I've actually promoted them here. It's called Two Guys in the Chat. I've been on that before, and I'm probably going to be on it here pretty soon here. I've been trying to get a hold of them, but I've been kind of busy trying to get stuff set up here for this episode, most importantly, and also just trying to get videos ready for the upcoming not reboot, but just getting back into the swing of things when it comes to YouTube videos. So we'll talk about that, and of course, its correlation with sports. Also, too, we'll talk about MLB making a return. NBA making a return, MLS making a return, Premier League's actually made a return here too. I actually got a chance to sit down and watch some of the Premier League games. We're also going to talk about the Kaepernick situation and my thoughts about that. And I want to know, honestly, from you guys down below in the comment section, let me know what you guys think about some of these issues that's been going on with the world right now. And in sports or the world or whatever, or the two, or just combine the two. But also, we're going to get into some a little bit of NFL news. There's been a lot of changes with teams, players, and being signed, re-signed, and traded, and stuff like that. Of course, if you don't know about the NBA, they are getting ready to start their restart their the last remaining games of their season. And the tournament, or they're going to do a not a tournament, but a interesting playoff deal. MLB is doing a very interesting one also too, when it comes to how they're doing a system that they're going to try this year to at least have a season and crowning a champion in baseball. Also, MLS, like I said, they got a tournament going on here. It'll be starting up here actually next on the 8th of July, and we'll talk about that. And all the news and notes that you need to know about this will be down below in the description down below, and the links to these stories and much more. Also, too, we'll also get some talk about these issues that have been going on in pro wrestling. The issues with pro wrestlers and sexual harassment, and we'll talk a bit about that here coming throughout the show, or here in the show also today. So a lot of stuff going on. It is the weekend, or it's about to be the weekend here. 4th of July weekend's coming up here. I don't know when this is going to be up. I will say it is technically, if you want to be Zach, when I'm recording this, it is the 1st of July. So I'm hoping that this will come out this weekend. So if it is the 4th of July weekend, happy 4th of July, everybody, and hopefully you be safe, and most importantly, have fun. But let's go ahead and get into this right now, and let's talk about the current situation in our world right now. We are in a pandemic, and then it's COVID-19. Hopefully you've been doing what the recommended suggestions are from the CDC. You're especially now, and I say this, I've been getting onto a lot of friends and family members about this, but if you do go out, please, not just for yourself, but for other people. I'm sure a lot of you may have loved ones that are ill, that have chronic diseases, and and so on and so forth. But please be responsible. Wear a mask when you go out. This has nothing to do about being political or anything like this. I'm not being paid by nobody to say this. I'm just saying this as a human being. Please, if you go out, follow the social distancing that the CDC's recommended. I know for myself, ever since this happened, and when this happened, actually, I was just during spring break for this university I work for. You guys don't know, I work in food services, and I work for a Missouri Western there in St. Joseph, Missouri. And when this was going on, I was on my way going to hang out with my former college roommate from Highland. Went to his house and to spend the weekend like I normally do. This was a normal weekend that we get together and hang out, but this time it's gonna be for a full week, and I was gonna spend time with him and his family. He's married. He's been married now for almost 10 years now or so. He has three awesome kids, and I was gonna go down. I was visiting down there with them, and I actually stayed almost for seemed like 2 weeks, but I think it was more like a week, maybe a week and a half. I had fun, but yeah, when this all happened, it's like, wow, like this is crazy. And I believe the last episode of this, or this time I put up an episode like this, was on February 22nd. So this is actually a month later from that last time I posted a Soapbox talk. So yeah, I mean, I was hanging out with him and whatnot, watching the TV reports and what was going on, and I was kind of keeping my ear to the ground on what was going on with this, because there's other people, there are people dying on cruise ships and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. So yeah, and then they were talking about, they were saying there was no, they were going to shut down, amusement parks, and they were canceling games. I know the tournament for one, and I feel so bad for those young men and women in basketball, but their chances of winning a national championship was taken away from this virus, and my hearts go out to them, and also too, I mean, not just them, but everyone that was going to graduate either college or high school in this year really got gypped really bad because of this pandemic. And I know there's a lot of I knew a few kids that were graduating at the university I work at, and of course at the also at the high school. I still know some of the kids that go through the high school here in town, and it was just shock. It was mind blowing what was going on, and just the idea of now realizing sports. And I watch sports on a regular basis. I do a sports channel, so I try to do my best to keep up with sports. My main sport I watch is for the most part is baseball. So I was really getting geared up about baseball. I just bought MLB The Show, getting ready to pop that in and play that, which I've played some, not much. But yeah, it was just realizing how how much sports I was watching, and not just your traditional sports. I mean, you got pro wrestling that were, you had shows that were being canceled. I know for a fact that I had bought tickets to a show here in Kansas City. It was AEW. They were coming to Kansas City, and I was getting ready to buy tickets. Me and my buddy Steve I was gonna buy tickets. If Steve didn't know, I was gonna buy tickets for the show, but unfortunately that never happened because of the worldwide pandemic and such. I also had tickets to a Comic-Con here in Kansas City, which it's being rescheduled. It's for August, and hopefully. I wish I had a webcam because I want you guys to really see my expressions a lot of times. But for the most part, I really thought, I'm really hoping that they'll have it because I bought a lot of stuff for that, not just I bought stuff to get signed and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. But yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully you guys are, hopefully, I know a lot of people are finding different ways of finding entertainment, especially when it comes to sports, playing old sports games. I know I went through a lot of my old sports games, playing those, of course, playing the current ones I'm playing right now. And then just seeing, like what was ESPN and Fox Sports and all those guys going to do for all that missed airtime that they would normally have filled on, especially on the weekends. Especially like the NCAA tournament. I mean, that takes over a whole month I don't know how much airtime. I'm sure hundreds of hours of airtime now, and they have to fill. So I did watch some Michael Jordan documentary there. It was interesting. I wasn't really too impressed by it, and I'm not knocking it or anything like that, but I lived during that time, during the whole Michael Jordan era. So I do, a lot of it I do remember, especially from 90, I want to say 93, when I was really focusing on watching sports on a regular basis. So when I was about 10 years old, so about 93, from 93 up till the time he retired, that to me, I lived it. I seen it. It wasn't, it wasn't that shocking to me. It wasn't like, oh my goodness. I know for a lot of you guys who are, in your teens or in your early 20s, this is new to you guys. You guys never got to see and hear all this type of stuff. Some of this, now don't get me wrong, some of the stuff was really awesome and really cool to know and learn about Michael Jordan and whatnot. But I think people were just, that was their fix. Like that was their something like, I got some kind of enjoyment, some kind of satisfaction from it. And it was a great series. It was a great documentary. Really enjoyed it, but not on the same level as a lot of people there. And I'm hoping they'll show more of those kind of documentaries with some other athletes and stuff like that. I know there's another one coming up here soon. I forgot who it was, but it looks pretty interesting there. I've been watching, of course, besides watching sports and working on YouTube videos, I've been watching, catching up on my Netflix, watching all those shows that I missed out or I was kind of watching here and there, especially when I was just editing videos. I just had something in the background just kind of playing, kind of listening to it, but kind of not. So it's been nice catching up with that kind of stuff, watching some movies. You guys would not believe this. I wish I had a video camera. That's another thing I've been kind of working on, is saving up some money that I've been getting from unemployment, so like that. I try to buy some stuff that's been on sale when it comes to making videos and stuff like that. But I have like 2 stacks. I'm looking at one of them right now. I have 2 stacks of nothing but DVDs and movies on one side. They're on different sides of the room, and not to mention my room is getting really crowded. Because I went out and bought, this was already set up before the pandemic was going on, but I bought a bunch of wrestling shirts. I also bought a bunch of, they had some, jerseys on sale from of course, my team's the Red Sox. I bought some Red Sox jerseys. Not to mention, Sporting Kansas City had a big sale on their online store, so I bought a lot of Sporting Kansas City gear, hats, t-shirts for both teams. and I got some more coming in here. And also I got besides wrestling t-shirts from WWE, I have some from just wrestlingtees.com. If you guys don't know, I posted something about that during my trip in November, and I just now started wearing some of those shirts, and then I went ahead and bought some more, and then also I bought some AEW stuff. So I, kind of been doing that, and pretty much when I got that stimulus check, if you got one, I was pretty smart about paying up some bills up for a couple months, because I knew I would be out of work for a while. And that has been a big thing. I mean, that's at times I've had, I've at least tried to post here on the channel, when I was going to be not having videos up, when I was going to take a break, so there'd be a slowdown of videos, so and stuff. But for the most part, I've been trying to take these little bitty micro vacations. I've been hanging out a lot of time with my nephew, who's, he just got a PlayStation, right around the holidays there, and so I've been buying some older games for him that he's been wanting to play, that him and his buddies are playing right now. And I just recently bought Grand Theft Auto, so he's now playing Grand Theft Auto online with me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to school some 12-year-olds here here soon about that. But for the most part here, it's, like I said, it's been somewhat relaxing, but at the same time it's been kind of really irritating. I know a lot of you guys are probably the same way. That is just, especially those first month, it was just like, at first I was enjoying it. I was like staying up all late, doing this, doing that, sleeping in, all that kind of stuff. But then probably right about after that second month, I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting burnt out on doing YouTube videos. At the same time, my numbers are starting going up here some, and I'm getting some good feedback from people, and I kind of want to do something else. So I'm kind of been working on some side projects here and there, for some other friends, helping them out with their YouTube channels. Been on some couple podcasts from other friends like that, talking about not just sports but just pop culture stuff. And just try to enjoy 2020 as much as you possibly can. So with that being said, that's one of the reasons why I have not been really pushing it hard, with the other reason being the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, again, not gonna get too political about this, but I said it in a tweet. If you guys been following me on Twitter, there's a link down below for our Twitter, and also on our Facebook, and also on the Score. But yeah, I'm a black male, 37-year-old black male, and this incident happened there in Minnesota, and I happen to know where he died at. It's actually not. It's about a couple blocks away from from where my great aunt lives. So I know the neighborhood pretty well. But just seeing that happen and whatnot, and seeing the video raw on the internet and everything, and just what's been going on in the world, even before that, Aubrey there in South Carolina, I believe it was South Carolina, he died. 2 white men shot him. It needs to stop. Police brutality is a big problem, and it needs to stop. I'm not saying all cops are like this, because they're not, and we can't be, just like you can't say all black people are criminals or whatever. You can't put a group of people and just because that one person from that group did something wrong, you can't group all of them together. That's what I'm trying to say. So I have a friend who is a cop. I know him. He actually graduated 2 years ahead of me in high school, and he's a great guy. Awesome. I never thought he was ever gonna be a cop, but he's now a detective now over there in St. Joseph, and he's a good friend, good guy, and he's actually running for sheriff here for now he's lives here in Kansas, and he's running for a sheriff here in Donovan County. And I got a chance to talk to him for a little bit there about something. We really couldn't get deep into the conversation, but I told him, I was like, you're a good cop. You need, when you see one of your fellow officers, people like you need to speak out and make aware that this stuff it's just not allowed. You can't do this, especially in this day and age that we live in right now with cameras and video and all that kind of stuff. We have cameras and everything on our phones. And you can record anything at a split second. And we got in that conversation and whatnot, and like I said, I went to school. I studied in law enforcement, and the reason why I didn't do it because I wanted to be on the area of the the not necessarily the punishment side, but the judicial side, like just like especially working with young kids and try to turn their lives around and try to have them go the right direction instead of going down to the direction they're either going to be in a gang and die, or be in a gang and end up in prison for the rest of their lives. So that's what I was studying for, and trying to get done with what I'm trying to say here. But the reason why I didn't stay in that because there was just too many horror stories that I had to deal with, and they say you burn out by year 5, and I was burned out by year 2. It was just not the direction I wanted to go into. It's a tough subject, but like I said, as a black man in this country, until we can stop this issue with police brutality and just injustice and just having true equal rights for everyone, and not have a two-tier system and the judicial system is like that. This nowadays just should not be happening. Racism is a real thing. Trust me, I've met many people that have called me by the N-word in front of my face, and I just look at them and I just walk away. Or a lot of times, I'll take that back. A lot of times I just look at them, tell them what I think of them, and then I just walk away. I don't deal with it. I cannot deal with it. I say my piece and I move on. And that goes on to sports. I mean, if you are a sports fan, it got me thinking, like, are white people, are they actually fans of the person, or are they just fans of that sport for that person? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they actually like the person, who they are, regardless of their color, or do they just like them because they play the sport at a high level? And with all this stuff going on, I was just, my heart, my soul, everything was just not here to make decent content and into doing videos. I mean, you have to be in a good state of mind when you're trying to do videos. So there's a lot of things going on in my series right now, and I just told myself I can't. My heart's not into it. My heart, my soul, my just creativity, everything is just not into it, and I just don't feel like doing this anymore, or at least for the time being. So it's been almost a good month since I've actually put up anything regarding to a series, with the exception that just recently here I just put up some Premier League showcase videos, like I did before the whole pandemic started and whatnot. So with that, so on and so forth there, that's been pretty much the only thing I've been putting up. I will say I will give some updates here. The North America tournament that we had for what was it, MLS versus La Liga MX. It's the North American League. It's the American versus the USA League versus the Mexican League. I think there's either 2 more games or 1 more game. Regardless, both of those or one of those videos will be up very soon. I will let you guys know here on the channel, so just keep close to the channel, to the community updates there, and I'll let you guys know when those are going to be back up again. And apparently no one wanted to do the tournament thing. I guess because I was going to give away a prize, but since no one's did it, I can't give away a prize. The prize was going to be a $50 gift card, either a PlayStation or a Xbox, for the winner, whoever decides who's going to win the tournament. So fortunately, we'll just have to put that away for something else here. If you go to our, actually, I hate to do this, but you don't have to, but if you'd like to join the ESGNet Patreon page, there is a Patreon page. Starts as low as $1 up to $5. Each tier has different stuff in it, but each tier will give you either I think the $1 tier will give you one kind of a giveaway every month, or chance to be in a giveaway, like a raffle or whatever. If you pay $3, you get 2. If you pay $5, of course you get 3. And then of course there's other stuff within the tier that you can be a part of for different series and stuff like that. So just check that out. There's a link down below in the description for our Patreon page. But yeah, that was the reason. I mean, that's really the big reason why I was following what's going on. I was trying to go to a Black Lives rally there in Kansas City, but with the stuff that was going on and everything, and then not to mention my nephew, he decided to have an injury. He had an injury on his bicycle and ended up fracturing his kneecap. Yeah. So, and of course this year, or if there is a this year, for sports, he was going to be playing football for the first time, and looks like he's going to have to do a series where he's already had surgery. He had it last week, and so far he's bouncing back pretty quick. He's, the first couple of days he couldn't really move. He, was, of course, getting knee surgery, and he was kind of, for the first time having, surgery. Well, actually, it's not his first time. His first time was when he broke his wrist when he was climbing off of a jungle gym set at the park, and that's when he was 4. So. But yeah, he's hoping to play football, and of course now he's going to have to be more careful. He's going to have to wear a knee brace and all that kind of stuff when he's playing at kind of sports for the next couple of years, or at least for the rest of the his football, or he decides he wants to go to college to play football. So collegiate career also too. So. So I'm dealing with that, helping him out with helping his mom and my mom. Well, my mom and of course his mom are helping him out with that. And so I've been going over there checking on him and seeing how he's doing during this time and whatnot. And I think that accident happened. What is this? I said that happened early June. So and of course they had to wait until they could do surgery because we did have a few cases of the COVID-19 here in St. Joe, so they had to wait for a while to make sure they can be able to do surgery on him. Of course, he had to take the tests to see if he was positive. He wasn't. He was negative. So thank goodness. Like I said, we've been doing a good job of quarantining ourselves through all this and whatnot. But yeah, I mean that like I said, there's been a lot of things been going on since the pandemic started. And then, like I said, I've been not want to burn myself out too much. I'm doing YouTube videos, but at the same time, while I haven't been really posting things up, I've been working on things and putting things up onto the channel to get ready for a potential return of having normal content up on a regular basis. And like I said, I've been working on other stuff for other people, podcasts and all that kind of stuff, live streams. A friend of mine had a live stream event for a charity that he's involved in, so I was there with him on that. So yeah, just a lot of things going on there. So we should, like I said, I will have something up hopefully this 4th of July weekend. I'll let you guys know when videos will start popping up, and a little, probably not to mention a schedule really of when things are going to be up on the channel. All right, so let's go ahead after that, all that huge update there. Well, I think we're not even, well, I think we're probably half hour into this. Yeah, we haven't really talked about the stuff that I want to talk about. So let's go to MLB right now. MLB, they're making a return here. It's a 60-game season, according to sources from ESPN. Ugh, I'm so used to saying ESGNet, and also Fox Sports there. The regular season will begin either July 23rd or 24th, so it's about roughly about 2 weeks from now. And the New York Post is reporting that the Yankees are visiting the defending champions, the Nationals, on the 24th, and the game, it could be a potential primetime game. Now remember, there was no baseball games going on with the exception of minor league games. That was the only thing that was going on during, right as we were getting, as this pandemic is going to full swing. But for the most part here, players are expected to actually show up as of right now, the July 1st. So this is right now here, as we're 3 something in the morning right now. I'm doing all this. They're allowing 60 player invites for big league camp. All the teams will have their camps in their ballparks. And then, according to MLB.com, active rosters, or I should say, allowed to invite 60 players to the big league camp, with only those players eligible to play during the season. The active roster will start at 30 players and then drop down to 28, and then 2 weeks later it will drop down to 26 players after 4 weeks. All games, regardless of the city, will be set to play with no fans. None. Zero. That means no one is going to be at the ballpark. And with the only people who are going to be at the ballpark are, of course, the players, GMs, the owners, staff that work there, like front office people, and then of course broadcasting. So there will be games broadcasted. Of course, those games will be on the big networks, like the games that that are normally on. So, and of course your local channels will have those games there. So like here around the Kansas City area, it would be either Fox Sports Midwest or Fox Sports Kansas City, because they both cover the Royals and the Cardinals. This year they're doing, like I said, 60 games. I believe 40 of those games will be against they're within the division. So you'll see 40 games that will be from within their own division. So each division will see their fellow rivals in that division. 40 game set there. They'll have equal amount of games they can play against each other, and then the other 20 will be interleague games within the opposite division from the opposite league. So, for instance, the American League will face each other, and of course they will face the NL East. So American League East will face the National League East. American League Central will face the National League Central, and then American League West will face the National League West. So that's how that's going to set up. And then they said that if the game goes too long, extra innings, anything after the 10th inning, there will be a runner placed at second base. And actually both teams this year will be able to use the designated player. So that'll be a first here that we'll see. And I think at least has been rumored for quite a few years now, and I've heard it from different media outlets. And then I think even MLB said that they were actually thinking about having one season where they were going to do a season where they'll do a season or two of having both leagues have the designated player. They would both have the DH in there, and kind of see if that worked out, if it was a benefit for for the National League, of course, or if it would be something taxing, something that just wouldn't be worth it or whatever. I've said before, I'm a big fan either way, but really as a guy that really likes the game, I'm an American League guy, but at the same time, I like the National League rules. So this will be really interesting, fun, see how things go. Of course, number of players. There's actually several players actually said they were not going to show up this season. Rightfully so. I don't blame them if they don't want to be there for the games because of the pandemic that's been going on. But Mike Leake of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Joe Ross of the Nationals, Ian Desmond from the Colorado Rockies, and Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals also too. So we got two Nationals players who came out on record saying that they were not going to show up and they were willing to sit out this season. So but that story and more there, all the information you guys want to know, and actually all the information you want to know, that anything I'm sharing here when it comes to MLB, Major League Baseball, or MLB, NBA, NFL, and so on and so forth, with the major sports here in the country or throughout the world, there are links down there below. You can check them out and read about those. Those are always down there. Move on now to the NBA, and of course the NBA is going to restart in the state of Florida, and they are going to be at the Wide World Sports Complex there in Orlando, Florida. Of course, that's Disney, and it's going to be a best of 22 from the league. They're going to finish. The best of the 22 leagues, 30 teams will play 8 games to finish the regular season. From those, the top 7 teams of each conference will advance, with the 8th team, with the final 8th seed from each conference being determined by a potential play-in tournament before the traditional 16-team playoffs begin. So they're kind of doing like the the NCAA tournament where they have that that number 16 seed. Before they can be a 16 seed, they gotta have a play-in game to see if they get into that last spot in there, and that's what they're gonna do. So I'm thinking there's gonna be 4 teams. Of those 4 teams, 2 of those teams will get the 8th seed in the either in the East or in the West. So that's gonna be really cool to see how that's gonna play out there. Season is gonna look like it's, well, depending on how the season goes, because with what's been going on as of lately, with Florida having high numbers of cases of COVID-19, they're trying to see if they can get this resume the season on July 30th with a doubleheader. Of course, TNT is going to host that. I believe TNT and ABC or ABC ESPN, I should say, are going to be featuring these games. I shouldn't say tournaments. It feels like a tournament. But they're going to have these games here or there at the Wide World Sport. There's actually 3 arenas they're going to be in. Again, it will be closed to the public. I believe only personnel will be there. That means owners, GMs, training, medical staff, front office people, and broadcasters will be there at those games there. So they will be completely closed to the public. The players are actually going to be in a nice little setup here. I was reading about it. They're going to be at 3 different locations there on the there at Walt Disney World, where they'll be able to relax and enjoy their time there, and so on and so forth. You got to read the article. It's a really good article about it, how they have it set up for the players. It's their own little bubble they can be in, and the teams, of course, that are going to be in this are. Well, here, I'll get to another bit of news here first. I guess TNT is going to have the first game. It's going to be between the Jazz and the Pelicans at 6:30 Eastern, followed by the Clippers and Lakers. So all those teams are going to be there right there. There's no, they're going to be there's 3 different arenas, so you got 3 games going at the same time. That's going to be really cool to see. Kind of reminds me, we have this thing called Summer Jam here in the St. Joseph area, and they do a same kind of tournament, kind of like with different summer teams and whatnot. And these, it kind of feels like that. I've actually been to a couple summer jams a couple of years ago, back when I was in high school, and they were really fun events. It has that kind of feeling, at least from my perspective. But the playoffs will begin on August 17th. Game 7 for the NBA Finals, it will take place, if necessary, no later than October 13th. So they're doing a pretty good job here so far. What I've been reading and what's been talked about this, with the exception of, if things go really haywire and they can't do it, they seem like they got everything protocol wise when it comes to the CDC protocols that the CDC suggests and whatnot. They're right on top of it. So great job there from the National Basketball Association there, from showing what they can do with all this. So that's really awesome to see. But the teams, of course, in the Eastern Conference, it will be Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston, Miami, Indiana, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, the Orlando Magic, and of course the Washington Wizards. In the Western Conference, it is going to be, of course, the Lakers, the LA Clippers, Denver Nuggets, Utah Jazz, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trail Blazers, New Orleans Pelicans, Sacramento Kings, and the final two are San Antonio Spurs and the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, they going to have somehow at some point here before the here coming up pretty soon here, they're going to have the national schedule out, and when the games are going to restart and what channels they're going to be on there. And they, of course, you can always go to ESPN, Fox Sports, and of course NBA.com to get those scheduling there. So and that's another way to keep people home home and watch basketball. And then, of course, baseball is coming around the corner here soon, and of course soccer, which we'll get into a little bit later for MLS. They're doing the same thing. They're going to actually be in the same area as the NBA players. They're going to be there at the Wide World Sports there in Orlando. It's pretty cool. They pretty got at least what I've been reading about, they got kind of the same setup there about that and so on and so forth. But on that issue, they actually going to have a tournament. They're going to have all 30 teams be in this little tournament thing. It's kind of really, it's pretty much the same thing as the FIFA World Cup situation, where all the teams are going to be, at least in the MLS, are going to be involved, and they're going to be playing like a round robin, point system to decide who is going to be the MLS Finals champion or MLS Cup champion. So that's gonna be really cool here. We will continue the MLS showcase here on the channel as soon as I believe it's July 8th. It's coming up here next week from today. We will start with those videos again like we have been before, and as soon as I get the schedule to find out, I'm going to start getting those out there to you guys and getting those ready, just like I do with the Premier League there. So that's going to be really cool to see there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they've already got the schedule out. I had to check and see. I was looking on there earlier, and I didn't usually have on the top of the screen there showing what the schedule is going to be like. So I'll definitely get those started here very, very soon. But the link to that is also down there below, and you guys can definitely check that out. Let's go on to look as I'm looking at my schedule here. Oh, by the way, I should have said this beforehand, but if you guys are hearing like this wind sound, this wind moving or whatever in the background, that is a fan. I am bloody hot in this room. It is a small room, and it will cook you like a piece of bacon very quickly if you have no air circulating in here. And so that's why I have the fan on. So if you hear this humming sound in the background or a wind, I have it on low. So I'm trying to listen to it. I've been kind of trying to see here if I can hear it in my headphones here, and I can hear a little bit of a hum. So if you hear, like I said, you hear a hum, It's my fan. I had to turn the other one off before I started this video because that one I could definitely hear it, and there was no way of trying to get that out of the video here in post. So I was like, yeah, gotta turn that one off. It sounded like I was in a wind tunnel. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back into some things we can talk about here in the video. Of course, we're going to talk about the NFL. What has been going on in the NFL? Well, there's been a lot of off-season moves and changes here. Of course, one of the biggest ones, actually two of the biggest ones here that have just been mentioned. One of them, of course, being no other than Tom Brady. Tom Brady is now a Buccaneer. Can you believe it? The dude is still wanting to play. You guys know I am not a Tom Brady fan whatsoever. Never will be. Never been. Never will be. Long after he's gone. Nope. But yeah, Tom Brady signed a 2-year, $50 million contract with the Buccaneers. Now everybody is saying, "Oh, Buccaneers are going to win it this year," and I don't know. Me personally, I don't see it happening. Are they going to be a playoff team? Oh yeah, I think they're going to be a playoff team. Buccaneers, they still got some issues that they have to deal with their ball club. But I could be wrong, and they could go all the way. But I'm going to side on the caution of they're going to be a playoff team. I don't know where, but I do say they're going to make the playoffs. Other people that got signed, the other big story that was been going on during the offseason is, of course, Dak Prescott. Of course, he's asking for $40 million. I think it was like 5 years, $40 million. 4 years, $40 million. 5 years, 4 years, I don't know. But he wanted $40 million. And the Cowboys decided to franchise tag him to a $33 million contract for 1 year. As for other players, Phillip Rivers still kicking it here. Really thought this was going to be Rivers' last year as a NFL quarterback, and he decides he's going to head to Indiana, and he's going to be a Colt for 1 year for $25 million. Vikings extended the contract of Kirk Cousins for 2 years. That's going to go to the 2022 season. Other notable names making the rounds here, and I'm going to be saying that I've had some issues with this man after he made a blunder, and this goes back to my issue with the Black Lives Matter thing, and a lot of you probably were not going to be happy about saying this, but Drew Brees is a jackass. I can't be any more blunt than that. Now, I know since he's made that announcement on Twitter, he's gone back and saying that he realizes what he said about it, and now understands, at least talking to his teammates and cohorts on that team about it. You would think a guy who plays with black males, black athletes on that team, you have to know that you have to be a little more sensitive about that. For one, the whole Black Lives Matter is about police brutality. Him and several other people still to this day don't get that. That's what Kaepernick was talking about, and he's proved it. This has been proven now by several black people being gunned down by police for no reason. We can go through the list here, but I'm not gonna get into that. I have my own personal Facebook. You guys want to follow that? I'll maybe leave a link or something there. But I've been saying it really on our Twitter, and he should have been more. He should have thought about it more. He should have talked to his teammates about the movement before making the comments that he made. Now, since then, he's retracted that. He's retracted those comments. He's got a fuller understanding of it. But I just don't. I mean, yes, maybe you can, and I'm saying this in the nicest way, but him being ignorant, maybe this brought more light to him about it. And I'm glad his teammates came out and they, they came out and they said, hey, we're gonna blast you on, here on social media. We're not gonna let you get away with this. We're not gonna let you skate by, just, sweep this underneath the rug. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad they did that. I'm not gonna say too much more about it. You can read my. Actually, you can go on. If you go to if you go to follow us on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Twitter, you can see what I wrote to him in a message on Twitter. There, you guys can definitely check that out. There, what I said to him in a. I think it was a direct or not a direct message. It was. I tweeted it. You guys check out what I said to him about being more sensitive, and not to mention being educate yourself about this issue. Because it's just not what you see in the media. It's not what a lot of the media spin are trying to put onto it. There is racism. There is police brutality. I can say for myself, as a black man, again, I've been profiled for many reasons, and simple fact because I'm black. And as a lot of my white friends, they never, I'm fortunate enough that I've had some white friends, and a lot of them are very, very. I grew up with them. They know, they're behind the movement. They understand it because they've seen it happen to me. They've seen it to happen to other friends of ours who are other people of other minorities. But yeah, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that one there. But Drew Brees, he's gonna sign for 2 years for $50 million. Teddy Bridgewater, he signed with the Panthers for 3 years for $63 million. Ryan Tannehill re-signed with the Titans for 4 years, $118 million. The Falcons signed Todd Gurley for 1 year, $5 million. Other notable names, of course, the big trade that everyone was up in arms with, which I totally agree. I don't understand why the Texans did this, but they traded the Cardinals for I believe they traded Cardinals got DeAndre Hopkins. Geez, Rashad, really? DeAndre Hopkins to the Texans, and the Texans got a 4th round pick, I believe, for next year's draft. So I'm still scratching my head on this one. What I mean, seriously, Texans, what are you guys doing? Other things too. Stephon Diggs. This was another one that was kind of out there. But Stephon Diggs, Bills trade for Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs and a 7th round pick. Texans also trade for Cardinals running back David Johnson for a 2nd round and 4th round pick. And to wrap it up, the Titans franchise tag running back Derrick Henry there for $12.4 million. Well deserved. I think they really should have signed him to a long-term contract because if he has another year like he did last year, especially in the playoffs, he is going to be a very hot commodity next season if he keeps it up. So, yeah, it's crazy how how things were going this season, especially with the whole COVID thing and just 2020 just setting itself on fire. Oh, jeez. Let's go ahead and get into another. Of course, everybody's talking about. We're just mentioning just beforehand there. I mentioned him a couple times now already, but Colin Kaepernick. There's been a lot of buzz about him. A lot of people are wondering, hey, now can the NFL get him back into into the NFL and him come back again. Of course, Kaepernick hasn't really said too much about it. He's been kind of really tight-lipped about it. Me personally, if the guy, if there's a team that really wants his services and needs his services there, and I've said this before, then he should go for it. Prove them. If it's gonna, because regardless, it's gonna piss off people that he got a job. And it's like, people, he hasn't played for what, 4 or 5 years now. Come on. They said, that I've seen it. I follow his Twitter account and whatnot. And a lot of people inside his sources say he is still training like if it's a season. Now, will he have some gridiron rust on him? Of course, the guy hasn't had live action. Been in play for almost 5 years now. Yeah, he's gonna have some rust on him. But will he be healthy? Oh yeah, he's gonna be hella healthy, and I think he could be that that comeback player. He definitely will be the comeback player of the year if he comes back and shows what he can do. I think every team in the NFL owes him an apology. I know that if it worked out, if it worked out for them, I know Seattle said that they would sign him. There's been rumors saying that he could possibly get signed by the Patriots, because Cam Newton, of all things, that was the other story. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. Cam Newton signed a big deal, a 2-year deal. I believe it was a 2-year deal with the Patriots. So now he's coming back, and of course everyone's saying that he could have his career could be resurrected as a Patriot. My personal opinion, maybe. As long as he does not play like he did last year. I know that offensive line wasn't that great. But at the same time too, Cam is known to be a scrambler before he throws. So if he's still like glass like he was last year and getting hurt and missing quite a few games, that might have been a bad idea. But we'll have to find out and see. We can say where we want to say about him, good or bad, but we'll have to find out and just see how things play out for this season. But yeah, going back on the Colin Kaepernick issue, there's a lot of people that owe him apologies. And like I said, especially of all people, Roger Goodell, he's gonna have to eat crow big time. He helped blackball this man from a job. You're talking about a guy who his rookie year took the San Francisco 49ers and took them to a Super Bowl. Come on. Like, this kid he has something. But, it is what it is, and we'll see if he will get signed or not. I hope he does, but at the same time, too, he's really been doing a really good job as an activist, speaking out, doing a lot of things for the community, and not just in the black community, but all just all people of all walks of life. So I'm hoping he'll keep up with it and keep doing what he's doing. Of course, he has that big, nice endorsement there from Nike. Nike's backing him. So I can see a lot more people. Hopefully, it's not all lip service that people are saying that, and especially if the whole Black Lives Matter. Hopefully, it's not lip service, and especially the NFL. You have no right saying, backing him or backing the players when the players were saying this from the get-go. But yeah, best of luck to him and his future. Hopefully, like I said, I hope he does return to the NFL. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks during that time and whatnot, and I'm hoping that he'll make a return back to the gridiron. All right, now let's go to the giant pink elephant when it comes to video games here. Giant pink elephant that everybody's been talking about here, and that is Madden 21. Okay, my personal opinion about this. Okay, Madden 21 is garbage. I have no intentions at all to. Okay, let me put it this way. I do have an idea that what I want to see, or what I was hoping to see here for Madden this year, and I'm kind of really disappointed in this game. As the trailer was awesome, but what really just pissed me off the most was when they finally announced here about the features for the game and some of the they call them gridiron notes for the franchise mode, and they were not good. There was barely any really talk about franchise mode itself, and I don't know if they're gonna later on gonna reveal some of the stuff for the franchise mode itself, the sim based franchise mode. But there was a lot of talk about face of the franchise and what that could look like going ahead here for this game here this year. EA of course made a release press statement here well, it's actually today, or actually on the 30th of June. And the face of the franchise actually looks pretty fun. What they've been talking about, you start off in high school, you play I believe you play 2 years in college. Of course, I don't think you're going to play a full schedule in college. I think you're going to play some big moments in those 2 years. But they got a thing where you can change positions. You start off as a quarterback, and then eventually at some point in your collegiate career, your coach is going to want you to switch or either stay as a quarterback or switch to a running back or wide receiver. It sounds like a good storyline, but I don't think it's going to be all like me and several other YouTubers that play this game or been playing this game even before YouTube. There needs to be a longer story. There needs to be more cinematics. There needs to be not just you have a story and then it drops off and just goes straight, just take you to a boring career mode. Now, don't get me wrong. This year's game, I played it. I've been having fun with Khalil, especially putting my own backstory to him and what's been going on the field and off the field. And it's been a lot of fun. Of course, I've had to do a lot of changes to the settings and just get the settings just right enough where they're not irritating to play, but at the same time, they're not like super duper easy. I will say I turned off the X Factor abilities. I just thought those were they just remind me of playing an arcade game. It was like playing Blitz. It was just like, okay, they were just unbalanced. They were just not helpful at all. So I just turned it off after that first season, because right now I'm currently in the second season. I'm almost done with second season actually. And I'm like, no, I can't do it no more. I did the same thing in franchise. I think I mentioned even in franchise, I said, I'm not doing it straight up. This is too archaic. I was watching other YouTubers that do a franchise mode series every year, and they were saying the same thing. And after seeing all these patches and everything like that going on and just reading about it, I'm like, okay. That's why I really haven't been getting into which I am. I've been getting back into the Giants series. It's been fun to putting that together. But last year they ruined it for me really because of all the craziness in that game, and I had a bunch of ideas that I'm kind of try to use in Madden 20 that I have for the Chargers from Madden 19's game. But they were saying these are improvements to the features, and reading these, they were just, and I'll leave a link down below to the Sporting News and a couple other news organizations who were reading and reading on the press thing about the game. But it was just horrible. They call it classic franchise, and they were just basically, I mean, if you look at the list of things they were having in the game, it was basically just a patch what they just did this year for this year's game, patching everything that went wrong from last year's game and put it in this year's game. You know what? I can't do it anymore. I cannot do it anymore. Madden 21 will not appear here on the channel. Only maybe if, depending on how the face of the franchise is. I know my EA Access is going to be renewed here soon. I am going to get it because I do want to play FIFA early. I'm excited about that because I have some ideas for FIFA 21. But as for Madden 21, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna just to see the train wreck that it is, and go from there. But yeah, I don't. As for Madden 21 content, it probably will not happen. And it'll what I have in mind here, and I've said this I think a couple times now in some Twitter posts and some YouTube community posts. I plan on bringing Madden 25, using Madden 25 and the Highland Scotty series, and using the draft picks and those from that Highland Scotty series, and move them over to the Madden 25 game. Because remember, that was the last time you could do that for those two games. And so I've been thinking about doing a series, a standalone series with maybe a player from like one of them, maybe Alex Flanagan or maybe Sheldon Sherman. And move them over to Madden 25. I'm also looking at, I have a friend of mine, Steve. He's been on the channel here before. He's been voicing over some stuff for me here lately. And he's been helping me with setting up draft, like players for a draft class and stuff like that for Madden. And so that's the type of stuff we'll probably end up seeing. I'm probably going to play some retro stuff for this year's game. I'm going to continue playing Madden 20, both the face of the franchise and for QB1 face of the franchise, and for the franchise itself for the Giants. My goal is I try to play at least 3 to 5 seasons in the franchise mode, and I think this year we may be able to do it. I just got to concentrate more on that here. So yeah, Madden 21. And reading some of the tweets from a lot of different people, and you can read it yourselves down there. Like I said, I'll leave the link down there below. But I like the concept of this year's face of the franchise. You start in high school and you just kind of build up your legendary status, going through high school, college, and then eventually to the pros. But just reading something like, okay, for instance, this is one of them. It says for Madden 21, the new X Factor may be make their way into the franchise mode. More details on the X Factors in Madden 21 coming up soon. Apparently, they adjusted some of that stuff and not made them supposedly not super powered like they did last year's. We'll see about that. One thing I do know, will say they added nicely was the wild card round. It says franchise has been expanded to the wild card round to match the real life NFL, which will now feature 3 games from each conference instead of 2. Updated, all rookie contracts amounts to be more authentic to the actual draft. Rookie contracts of all 7 rounds, so that's nice. That's realistic to what's going on right now in the NFL. And then the final thing was one of the things they said there: retuning every position available ability to make better consideration in game efficiency and abilities and archetypes authentically. Almost made the second ability unlock for most positions 85 overall. Last year was 80. So they changed some things there, but to me it sounds like it's just a bare bones type of game. Just simple fact because you can port the game over to. I'm assuming you can port the game over to the PS5 once the PS5 comes out later this holiday season. But nonetheless, there's okay, we understand you guys are you're making 2 games for 2 different systems. Actually, technically, well, 2 games, well, 1 game for 4 different systems. You got the PS4, Xbox One, and then the Xbox X series or whatever it's called, and then the PS5. So I can understand that's a lot of work, but at the same time, people are wanting more. There's more that we want. There's more things you guys can put in the game. And that old slogan, and someone made a joke about it, if it's in the game, then it needs to be in the game. And it's not in the game. So yeah, I'm a type of person. I've always been a franchise fan of it. But there's zero, excuse me, there, I'm trying to move my chair here. There are 0 updates in this game to make me say, hey, I'm gonna go out and buy this game this year. I think like I said, I believe I said it in a post before that I was gonna skip this year's game regardless, because it was just not. It just after last year's game was just bad, and then this year's game got a little bit better, but still was like, I'm kind of fed up with Madden right now. I know the same thing's going on in the FIFA community. I'm new to that community now. I've been playing FIFA now for the last 3 years now, ever since 17, I believe. 18. 18 was the first one I got. So yeah, and I know in that community it's very frustrating on that one, and I see why. I see people telling me about it, especially now knowing what goes on, especially in the MLS world, and what the things they deal with there with contracts and all that kind of stuff. There needs to be more to it, and of course, Madden is always about MUT. I'm not a MUT player. I've tried it before in the past. Not a fan of it. The idea of collecting cards, and then now they changed it. Now it used to be where you collect a card, you play that card for so long, and then after that you had to get a new package of cards. And I'm just not all about the collecting. I'm all about building. That's what my Coach Teddy Bond's character is about in the college football games. It's about building teams, and figuring out what you did right and what you did wrong. And then, MUT, it's all about superpower teams, and you're playing against other people online, or you can play against a computer. And I'm just kind of just done with it. I was done with it that first year I played. I didn't do this is before I did YouTube. But just you log on, people want to play people, and then as soon as you beat them, even by a touchdown, they just like, oh, you're cheating, bye, and they just log out. And it's like, what? I'm not a competitive gamer at all. I'm competitive to myself. I really I want to win. Of course you can't always win, but I'm the type of person I want. I'm just like in real life. I want to win. I want to win as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I'm not like I said, all that money they're putting in, that people are putting into MUT. Literally buying coins and all that kind of stuff. That money they could be going towards, making franchise mode better. For us old school. Like I said, I'm old school. When I started playing Madden was back in Madden 93, y'all. This is back in 93 when I was 10. So yeah, I'm old school Madden player, and the last couple years now, Madden has just been really tanking, and I just decided this year, after even before all this was going on, after when I was playing 20, I was like, this might be my last year playing a Madden game for a while, because I just can't do it. Like I didn't buy WWE 2K. And recently I just seen it for like $10 at GameStop. I'm like, yep, still not buying it. Buddy of mine, he bought it, but he bought the computer version of it. And he's doing the mods, and I told him, I was like, if I had a decent computer, that was a gaming computer, I can do all that kind of stuff. Oh, I would, in a hot second. But I don't have that kind of moolah right now, and of course he built his all from scratch and everything, which I'm thinking about maybe having him or my other buddy Joe work it, help me get that to put that stuff together. But yeah, I just can't deal with Madden right now. It's just god awful. God awful. So yeah. But yeah, you guys can read more about it. Let me know down below, down in the description or down in the comment section, what you guys think about Madden this year. Read some of the tweets that like some well-known YouTubers have said and made out. I don't know if any of the players have said anything about it, but I know I've been reading some of the tweets and some of the memes about Madden this year, and people are just not happy about the outcome so far with it. And it hasn't even been out just yet. It won't come out until I believe it's I think it's in July still. I think it's still here late July. So yeah, it's just, and I feel bad for Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's gonna be the cover guy on that, and you know, with all this happening, you know, and just the bad negative press that's on about this game. I mean, if there's somebody out there that can tell me otherwise about Madden 21 and whatnot, you know, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll have a friendly debate about it and whatnot. But to me, it's just, unless they're purposely doing this to, you know, get people's reactions, and then, you know, they're gonna, okay, oh, instead here's some news on franchise mode itself. This is what we're doing. And they're doing, you know, they're doing that way to kind of just throw us, you know, swerve us, you know, okay, that's fine. But, you know, this is all you guys are saying about it, you know, okay, I'll see you at Madden 2020, you know, Madden 2022 or Madden 23, you know, whatever. I won't be buying this game this year, so I definitely will say that. But I do have some plans for past Maddens. I'm even thinking about maybe bringing back a Madden franchise that we had before, like Pittsburgh, Green Bay, which I left in a cliffhanger, sorry, and maybe even the Cowboys, go back to the Cowboys or whatever. But I am thinking about going back to a you know, past Madden, because I still have a lot of those games, and either restart the series, or not restart, but just continue from that series and go from there. I know for sure if I do go back to a past Madden, I do want to go back to the Pittsburgh one, because the Pittsburgh series was a lot of fun, putting that team together. I think I played 2 or 3 years in that one. It was a lot of fun, putting that team together and doing what I can do in that one. So but yeah, read the article down below. You guys will get a kick out of it. It's from the Sporting News, and what some of the, like I said, there was some pretty known YouTubers that you know, play the game religiously like I do, and like many of my friends said the same thing. This year they was, you know, they got last year's game, especially a lot of them are, you know, Chiefs fans, and, you know, oh, you know, Patrick Mahomes on the cover, da da da. I'm like, okay, whatever. Not trying to hate, but, you know, okay, whatever. But then this year, you know, this, you know, when they, you know, over the course, you know, they were saying, you know, leading up to the reveal of who the cover boy was on the cover, and then what now recently here, they're like, what the hell, like, no. So now that's, and then of course, you know, WWE's not, you know, I know I'm switching sports, but WWE's not even having WWE 21 this year, because they're trying to get a new team together to make it, and so now they're having that one arcade game, like, which I'm not buying at all. I'm not. I'll just stick with WWE 19 or past WWE games and play. I know the 19 server, I know for a fact it's still up and running. They made there was a press release about that just about a week and a half ago, I think. So if you got WWE 2K19, you can still play it. You can still go on the servers and download some of the new, and even some of the recent wrestlers that are in that game. I've seen some really good people put some calls up there, so definitely check that out. Okay, so we just wrapped up the NFL. Let's go to, we already talked about MLS. And let's talk about now the final news story of the week, or last almost 2 weeks now. What's been going on? The Speak Out movement, hashtag Speak Out, about a lot of different, not just the WWE, not just AEW, but wrestling organizations from Great Britain, around the UK. And several other places here and also in the States. There's been a lot of people speaking out, a lot of women mostly speaking out on their issues of sexual harassment in the workplace. Me personally, I think these guys and most of them are guys, they have some serious issues that they need to work out. If you guys don't know the stories, I'll leave a link down below of some of the stories that have been going on about the Speak Out movement. But I'm just right now I'm just trying to think of some of the stories that have been out there, because there's been so many. I know the Matt Riddle issue that happened 2 years ago, and apparently it's a woman that's been stalking him, not just him but his wife. And the WWE knew about this right as they were signing him or leading up to his signing, and that's been worked out and whatnot. He hasn't really spoke too much about it now. Of course, he was just recently brought up to the main roster on SmackDown here recently, and that is just rain there. So if you hear a lot of droplets hitting the window, that is rain. I just realized it's raining outside. The other stories, of course, Michael Egan. This one I knew about a couple years ago. I think I have an episode about this, talking about this issue. His story's now been talked about again, about a situation that happened there in St. Louis where his wife, Miss Shiv, she's a wrestler herself who wrestled mainly in the independent circuit there with Ring of Honor, most notably. His name's been popped up in the conversation again. Trent Sevens has an issue right now of sexual harassment or sexual misconduct in the workplace. Travis Banks, El Ligero, who are former wrestlers, no longer with WWE, no longer with WWE, but no longer with the brand they were on, which is NXT UK. If you guys have been following their career, they were known in the UK for individuals, wrestlers, but mainly Elder God. I know him not personally, but I know him from What Culture Wrestling, and then of course Defiant Wrestling when they switched their company name. And of course the Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks, they're from the Australia, New Zealand area. He's a great wrestler down there. Major League Wrestling, MLW, they've had some issues going on. MLW is not even wrestling right now. They actually stopped on purpose before this was planned before the pandemic. They were going to stop. They were going to cease production because their story, it kind of works with their storyline right now that they're currently in. But they're not having any wrestling going on right now. We'll talk a little bit more about that here. But there's been wrestlers there have been. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there's been some names related to this issue that's been going on. It's a shame. It really is a shame to see some of these names have been, and they're my personal favorites, especially Velveteen Dream. His name recently came up to been discovered and whatnot about an incident that happened about a year and a half ago with a young fan. And I just recently bought his t-shirt, and I was like, when this was going on, I'm like, seriously, like, and I'm not saying if these guys did it or not, but I am respecting the wishes of the victims of this. But if you guys did do this, you need to fess up. You need to be a man, fess up, admit admit it, say you're guilty, and then get the help you need. I've just now, oh my goodness, now the name just left my head. Oh, Sammy Guevara. He made he's lucky that he didn't get fired for that. Even though this happened about a year and a half ago, he made these statements about Sasha Banks. And I'm not going to repeat what he said, but if you know what he said, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're not, I'll leave a link down below. But there were some issues with him saying some really racy things about her. And now he has been suspended from AEW without pay. And his pay that he would have gotten is going to go to a woman's domestic violence organization there in Jacksonville, Florida, which AEW is their headquarters is. And of course, Cody just made a statement about it and saying that Sammy will return, but he'll return hopefully as a new person, and he will return, and he won't return until he gets the help that he needs with sensitivity training. Yeah, say that's not as fast. And so on and so forth. So until him and the Bucks and Adam Page and Omega and of course Tony Khan all get together and decide what his future is going to be in that company. So yeah, it just really upsets me that this stuff is going on here. You didn't hear about this stuff back in the early 80s and 90s. And now I hear recently here, I've been ever since they did the NXT In Your House. I've been watching older WWE stuff, the Attitude Era stuff, and just watching those episodes, I'm like, wow, and I was young at the time. I was a teenager myself, and enjoying the bra and panties matches, but now watching it's like, oh my goodness, how was this allowed? How, what was the deal? And I'm not trying to be, but it's just, there's a time and a place for this, and you just don't do it to the opposite sex, or even in some cases, the same sex in the workplace. You just don't do that. And that's what young men need to know nowadays. You get, fellas, we have to treat our women better. We got to treat them better. We have to. There's no, but guys being, boys being boys, or guys being, no, it's just uncalled for. But yeah, and there's so many other stories. I can't really get into all of them because now even thinking about it just makes me sick. I know there's one wrestler. He talked about his abuse, and his abuse came from came from a loved one. It came from a person that he trusted when he was younger. I don't know if you guys know this wrestler. If you watch Booker T, I mentioned him several times before, but Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. He's a great wrestler. He's from Texas. He actually wrestled here in the Kansas and Missouri area, around the Kansas City area. A couple years ago, it was called National Wrestling League. And he goes, here he was going by the name of Rampage, but he goes by Moonshine Mandel. Ryan Greenlee, I believe, is his name. Check him out on Twitter and stuff like that. He has a Facebook page and everything. But he was talking about that he was sexually molested when he was a young kid for, I think, 3 years. So he talked about his story. He was very candid, very open about it and whatnot. But it just, when I hear stories like this, it makes me sick. Just makes me sick. And like I said, these guys that are, and we're going to say allegedly in connection with these types of stories or harassments and stuff like that, making unwanted sexual advances at a woman or whatever the case may be, it's wrong. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you can, frame it or whatever. It's wrong. If you did do it, you need to fess up. I'm glad that especially AEW is doing an investigation on matters like this. WWE is doing the same thing. And of course they're not going to make I know Jack Gallagher was another one that they just went and they cut him as soon as they found out. They just got rid of him. So yeah, it's crazy. Now, on an unrelated issue or unrelated topic, recently here, and it wasn't dealing with sexual harassment, it was dealing with issues in the workplace. Tessa Blanchard, of course, she was the first woman to ever win the, I want to say TNA, but I mean, the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. She just recently got released from Impact Wrestling, and rumor has it now she's gonna possibly sign with the WWE. Now she's worked with the WWE before. She was in the I think the last Mae Young Classic they had. She was in that tournament. She also appeared on NXT there for a while. Of course, she didn't get a contract with WWE because of some real issues of her making racist statements, racist slurs, I should say, not racist statements, but racial slurs, and just being just really mean and cruel to fellow wrestlers in the back, fellow women wrestlers in the back. But since then, she got signed by TNA. They signed her. Of course, her career skyrocketed. A lot of people close to her say she has changed ever since then, because since she didn't get that WWE contract, she's changed. And then of course now her getting fired from TNA because she wanted to stay in Mexico because of the COVID virus. Well, one of the reasons they say is because of what was going on with the world with the COVID-19. Others people are saying it wasn't related to that. It was related to her work ethic. She wasn't, she was supposed to be showing up to tapings. She didn't want to. They said, fine, could you do some promos at home? Send those to us. She didn't do that. So my thought is, like, you had a chance to do your homework, and they gave you all these different opportunities to do your homework, and you didn't want to do it. And you are supposed to be the face of the company. It's like that, and then that makes other guys, the guys are really, are putting their lives on. I'm not saying she needs to put her life on the line. If she believes that she don't want to be there because of what's going on in the world, that's fine. I'm not gonna hold that against her. But you gotta also to think that there's other guys out there that are doing, other wrestlers in there, not just the guys, but the girls, women too. I should say girls, but women are also too out there wrestling. You need to do something to help this along. So they went ahead and fired her, and she's no longer with Impact Wrestling. She has a clause in her contract where she can't badmouth TNA or Impact Wrestling there. But I believe she can possibly sign with TNA here. I think she has a 30-day, usually it's a 90-day no complete cause, but I think she might have either a 30 or 60-day no complete cause, because it's already been said already that that WWE are talking to her, and she is interested in going to WWE. Don't know if she's going to be on the NXT brand or if she's going to be on the two main rosters, but we could be seeing her there in WWE very, very soon. Tony Khan and Cody and everybody there at AEW said they had no interest. Even though her dad is a manager there, he's managing Sean Spears, Teddy Blanchard. A lot of people are saying, even Big Swole, she made a YouTube or a Twitter tweet out saying that they will welcome her to the roster. It'd be a big improvement to the roster, and it just makes the roster even look better. And but yeah, I guess AEW has no interest in her, and so we won't see her in AEW. But we'll see her in a ring here soon in WWE. Just don't know which brand she's going to be on. So we'll see how things work out on that issue. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, read some of those. Just look up Speak Out on Twitter or on the internet, and you can find the stories of individuals that had it, were just disgusting, just horrifying. Oh, Joy Ryan was another one. That's the other name I was thinking of. That allegedly made some inappropriate moves and just inappropriate with working with fellow female wrestlers. So, but yeah, it's crazy that it's the last, like, when wrestling here last couple, and even though this new era, this empty arena era, has been, there's been some good times, and then of course there's been some head scratchers when it comes to stuff, especially from the WWE side of it. The big giant layoffs they had there, a couple weeks, just 3 weeks ago, I think. It's been really tough wrestling, and just being a wrestling fan and just have to deal with hearing just bad news all the time. Hopefully, and of course, by the time this is up already, we already know what the announcement she's making. But tomorrow, technically today, the 1st of July, Renee Young is supposed to be making a huge announcement. So I'm waiting to see what that's all about. A lot of people were saying that, oh, she's pregnant, and she's like, nope, not pregnant. So yeah, I don't know what could be bigger than that. Of course, you already know already. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are going to be having their first child. So congrats to her and to Seth. Eventually, at some point here, Seth will be written off for the show of Raw here for some time, to spend some time with Becky and the baby. But that's a while off. A lot of people are saying that he might be gone by SummerSlam, if they have a SummerSlam this year. So, but that's it. If you guys, there's just other stories you guys want me to talk about, what's been going on in sports, or in sports, I mean anything in sports, pro wrestling. Oh, congratulations! Before, I meant to talk about this during the MLS segment, but congratulations to Liverpool. Congratulations on the championship there. They made a big run there, making just crazy. That was a good game. It was good to see, and I know people there in the UK really needed that, especially what's been going on over there and whatnot. So a little bright of sunshine and just excitement there was really nice to see. But I'm glad to see. It's weird seeing no crowds out there, but at the same time, like I said earlier in the start of this video, which is now running close to an hour and a half. Just now over the hour and a half mark there. We have to respect each other. We have to make sure we take care of each other and make sure that people are being shown respect. So please, when you go out there, wear a mask. Follow social distancing. Don't go nowhere. Don't go out to places where there's a whole mob of people. If you do, please wear a mask. And just be respectful to each other, regardless of color, regardless of party affiliation you are. Just be a human being. Just be a decent, honest, friendly human being. I don't know what else to say without just cussing at you, but just be a human being. And that's what I always say. I say it every time at the end of my videos. Keep yourself and each other healthy, and I say, and I mean that. I really truly mean that, and I just hope people follow that more and more here in this tough time around. This has been a rough year. 2020 is just, honestly, 2020 is just bitch slapped us left and right, and we don't know what time of the day it is because we're sleeping in. Like I've been, like today, I'm gonna be sleeping in. So yeah, it's crazy. But that's it for me. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, let me know down below in the comment section. We'll talk about, I'll have a discussion about it. We'll give you guys my thoughts. That's what this show is about. At some point here, I know I keep saying this. Actually, really and truly funny enough, I had something. I had an episode geared up, ready to go during when this all started. The whole pandemic started. Me and Joe was going to sit down and talk about MLS. We were really, because he's really all about it. He knows more about it than I do and stuff. And we're going to, of course, talk about MLB The Show 20 and talk about, his I try to I want to get people on here where we talk about, sports games, sports, but we also talk about sports games and why they play them what's so fun about them and how they got started playing them, stuff like that. And it also add a little bit of news here and there and whatnot, and information. But we did. I had something set up. I don't know where I misplaced it at. But I'm hoping here soon, if we can get together and hang out, we are going to try to do something here with him and I together, talking about just sports stuff, and just do something fun. I think I got something maybe set up with Steve. He can do a call in here for the show at some point here, maybe in the near future. Still trying to work on that. But yeah, for the most part here, it's been fun, I really hope that I can do more of this and talk. And I know it's been a while. There's been a lot more things going on in the world of sports and whatnot. But like I said, there was a lot of times I just had to step away because I want my creative juices flowing. I want it to be uninterrupted. I want to have fun when I'm playing games. Video games, so that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, passing the time, and it was when all this stuff was going on, it was just not fun at all. So, but I'll have some kind of it'll be an announcement on all our social media platforms about when the next few episodes of different series will be coming back up. So on and so forth. So stay tuned for that. Keep watch on that. Remember, all our stuff is down below in the description. All our links to all our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and of course we have a Patreon page. And of course, always stay close to the channel here on YouTube for the latest news and updates here on the channel. And wow, it is. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is pouring down like crazy. Jeez. So I'm hoping I can work on another video before it gets too noisy. Probably not, but nonetheless, as I always say, keep yourselves really healthy, and please, whatever you do, please just be careful, be safe, be kind to one another, wear your mask, follow the guidelines, follow social distancing, and hopefully we can get back to, I guess, quote unquote normal again. But I mean, realize this is the new normal now, people, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. Every year I talk about this. I go to a wrestling event during the month of November, around my birthday. That's usually summer or a Survivor Series. And this year I had a plan. Matter of fact, I had a trip planned out this year. Because my sister, I know I'm trying to get in this episode here, but my sister my baby sister just graduated from an online college that she was taking. Of course, she was in the military. She was in the Air Force, so I thank her on that. But yeah, she was in college. She decided to be done with college, and she went to the military. She spent 8 years in the military. She made tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, you name it, she's been there. And then she finally decided she was done when she was stationed in Japan, because at the time she had a 4-year-old son, and she just missed a lot of his life. Her husband, bless his heart, I love him to death. Unfortunately, they're no longer married anymore because of some other issues. But Levi, just a great guy, stepped up and did a great job there raising Aiden by himself for a year. Well, about a year and a half. We had Aiden there for a while there, but Sneaker was just missing out on so many milestones as a mom. She missed out so much, and so she decided that she was done with the military. But she wanted to continue going to school, and of course, military, they paid for her to go back to school, and she got her I think she got her master's in I forgot what it was. It was something in nursing. But yeah, unfortunately she could not have her graduation. They had to do it, over the internet, unfortunately. But we were going to plan on going to the DC, Arlington area, the whole DC, Arlington, you know, area there in Virginia. But you know, Mother Nature, you know, the world, 2020 decided, oh yeah, by the way, gonna give you a pandemic, and yeah, you won't be able to go anywhere. So we had plans of going to DC. I had a lot of big plans. I was going to go to Nationals Park. I was going to try to see a Nationals game, see if they were going to be playing that day, because we were going to be there for like 2 or 3 days, and that was one of the days I was going to go to a Nationals game. I also had plans going to, see where the I want to call it, I forgot, FedEx Field there where the Washington Redskins play. Then we were going to take a train to New York. And of course, we all know what happened in New York. So that, with all that stuff going on, yeah, it was like, yeah, not traveling. Not going to New York. And then from New York, I was going to go and spend, because this was about a week that we were going to be in the DC. And then go up to we're going to spend like two or 3 days in DC, and then spend the remaining 3 or 4 days there in New York. But I was going to leave from New York and go up to Boston and spend a week in Boston to see the Red Sox play and just see New Boston. Boston is one of those cities I just want to go to. It's just such a, me being a history nerd, I wanted to go see all the sites there in Boston and the different colleges they have there and stuff like that. And of course, like I said, just couldn't do none of that because the whole pandemic and whatnot. So the Boston trip's now being postponed again for the 7th or 8th time now. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do there on that issue. But yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, just make sure you guys are taking care of yourself, each other, and just live life. Try to do the most normal stuff. Have a routine. That's what I've been trying to do. Have a routine of doing things and just trying to be normal as much as possible. And it's just after a while you get to do that. You kind of forget about what's been going on around the world till you happen to watch the news or something else. Some other breaking news comes up and you're like, oh yeah, shit. Like, damn it. But yeah, just have a new routine. Try to go out and exercise, walk. That's what I've been trying to do. A little bit of walking here and there. But yeah, just and then sports will be coming back here soon. Enjoy the sports. Stay inside. That's definitely I know a lot of people are going to be doing. Staying inside, trying to keep up in sports and what's been going on in the sports world. But yeah, for the most part, there just try to do what you can do, and like I said, be respectful to everybody else, and just please, I can't say this as much as I possibly can, but please, if you're required in your state or your city or wherever you're at, if you're required to wear a mask in public and in public places, please respect that. Not just for yourself, but for others. Please do that. We don't need any more people, dying or more people suffering of this virus. So, but that is it for me this week. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this will be a weekly thing. Maybe not a weekly thing. Maybe a bi-weekly thing. But yeah, if you guys have any, other things you guys want to talk about that I didn't cover in today's episode or hasn't been talked about in the world of sports and sports gaming. Especially when it comes to sports, gaming, and so on and so forth. Let me know down below, and I'll try to have a discussion about it. Have some notes or stuff like that, so I can talk about. Maybe sometime here soon, somewhere down the road. Maybe, I don't know. And it's a big maybe. I can have guests. Maybe have you guys on here on the show and be a guest commentator or something like that here and talk about what's going on in sports. So. Again, guys, thank you so much for listening to me, and that's it for this episode of the Sports Gamers Soapbox Talk. As always, keep yourselves really healthy, and I will see you guys next time.